You getting a bony?
We'll save that for later because we are back with another episode of Milf Manor. We are at episode 6 this week. Last week was the beach episode. We ended up getting 2 new guys, Connor and David, who got to take Kelly and Christina out on a date. But the highlight of the whole episode was Barbie and Chris's hot tub date causing chaos in the house. So this week we immediately start off with that. Joey and Jacob both are still freaking out over Chris and Barbie having their thing in the hot tub, which I mean, it was expected to happen. Barbie did like Chris as well. But while the chaos is going on in the house, Crystal finds the perfect time to go and talk to Stacy. She's still unsure about if he's still just moving slow or if he's not actually attracted to her and just not being 100 about it. So she finds this time to figure out what's going on. Stacy does communicate that he moves different since his divorce because in his last relationship, it was just a lot of bad communication. And that's what ended the relationship, which I thought it was cheating, but I guess cheating, bad communication, that probably goes hand in hand. So he ends up asking Crystal if she wants a marriage or just a lifelong partner, like what would she be okay with, which this makes it sound like he's not looking for marriage at all. She basically says whatever her partner decides or wants, she's cool with. If they want to get married, she's okay with that. If not, she's fine as long as she finds the love of her life, her lifelong partner. So she's cool with anything. But now they take us back to the chaos in the house. Barbie and Chris have finally made it out of the hot tub. So now Joey seems to be taking over the whole situation. He tells Chris that he needs to go talk to Jacob and he's going to pull Barbie to the side and basically call her out. I don't know what he was expecting was going to happen with this. So he pulls her to the side and he says, I was told that you initiated a kiss with Jacob today at the beach. She ends up walking away, doesn't even reply to him. It's really none of Joey's business in the first place. I mean, even if Jacob and her did make out on the beach, like had a whole makeout session, it's really nobody's business but Barbie's, Chris's, and Jacob's. So I don't know like why Joey inserted himself into the mix. Everyone may not agree with what she's doing, but they're also on a show called Milf Manor. And while I was watching this, it really gave me like somebody in high school vibes. Like he's like the middleman, like, oh, do you really like my friend or not? And then I remembered Joey's only 21. He is 3 years out of high school. So it's like he's basically still in high school. And when I think about it that way, I really hope TLC doesn't come up with any more ideas. So now Jacob and Chris are talking, and Jacob felt like he just needed to tell Chris what happened on the beach. They had their peck, and that she initiated it. She initiated that kiss. And as I thought, Chris really doesn't care. He even says that he's done worse with girls with whole boyfriends.
You lying?
So he really doesn't care. Also, I realize Chris is 27. He's at least 4 years older than all the other guys. He kind of isn't freaking out about this. He's like, it happens. You guys are on a show to date women. But he feels like he's got it in the bag with Barbie anyway. So it doesn't really matter what Barbie and Jacob were doing on the beach. But Barbie isn't done. She figured she might as well call Joey out on his bullshit for making out with Christina and then a week later making out with Kelly.
While you're trying to, at the same time, pull one over on Christina and like be a hypocrite while you're making out with Kelly in the hot tub.
Stop. Which I don't understand the comparison. Again, what Barbie did wasn't crazy. She didn't do anything wrong. But for her to come down and try to compare Joey hooking up with Christina and then a week later kissing Kelly, like that, there's like no comparison there. So she just wanted to come down and yell at him. But Chris tries to de-escalate the situation, brings her inside, and he's just trying to calm her down. And it's so funny because he's like, this isn't you. This isn't who you are. But since Chris is trying to calm down Barbie, Barbie thinks that Chris isn't listening to her. So now she's upset with Chris now too.
Hurtful that Chris is not listening to what I'm saying, and it just feels like there's a disconnect there. Chris is a hot boy, but I need him to be a man, and he's not being a man right now.
Doing a little too much. She even at one point, when Joey was having his interview on the side of the house, she started screaming liar from her bedroom.
Where I'm coming from. Barby's yelling liar from the bedroom right now.
Now we get to see what Kelly and Christina thought about their dates last night, and of course they loved it.
All right, yeah. Okay, fantastic.
But Christina is still going with the narrative that she is still torn between David and Sam. The way I see she interacts with David compared to Sam, I don't know why she's still trying to go with this, but anyway, Kelly also says that she has a really good time with Connor, but there is another guy that she is still interested in. She doesn't particularly say his name, but I'm guessing she's talking about Joey, since he is the only other guy she's been talking to. I think she just didn't say it because Christina was talking to Joey at first and it might be a little awkward. Now we get some backstory on Ashley and his divorce, and man, this was heartbreaking. Ashley opens up to the other dads, Stacy and Anthony, and he lets him know about his divorce. Basically, he was with his wife for 24 years and they had 3 kids, and I guess they had grown apart. And the sad part is that she is the one that served him with divorce papers, and he didn't even see it coming. He thought they would spend their life together forever. He even says that last year he ended up having a heart attack and only Jacob was at his side, which also makes me think, where were his other kids? But that's gotta just be tough to go through a heart attack and not even have the person that you were with for 24 years not be by your side. So Ashley is definitely having a rough time being here, and he even says that he's not ready. He's not ready to be here. He doesn't decide to leave now, which was a little odd, but yeah, he's not with it anymore.
Cut the show. I'm done.
And then Stacy opens up about his divorce, and he says that his wife was different from other women because he was able to open up to her and be vulnerable with her, and he gave all this trust to her, and then it was kind of just gone.
For me to trust, that's just gonna take time. Like, I gave that all to someone else, and this is what happened.
And I'm not entirely sure if he's saying he gave his trust to his wife and then his wife just left him, so all that trust is gone, or if he's saying that he gave his trust to someone other than his wife. But it's kind of hard to feel bad for his divorce story because it was like you were cheating on your wife, and it sounds like it wasn't just like 1 or 2 times. Even 1 or 2 times is crazy. It's impossible to feel bad for somebody like that, you know? But now it's time for the challenge.
Everybody, we have a message.
David lets them all know that their new challenge is a sexting challenge, and only the women will be participating in this. I guess the women will go to the Realty room, take sexy pictures, and send them to men of their choosing. They can send them to more than one man. And I don't know how to feel about this, but David was like, you only send texts to people that you really like and you have a genuine connection with and that you trust. Christina on the side's like, that's not true.
It may sound silly, but we usually only sex the people we like, trust, and have genuine interest in.
You need Jesus!
So now it's time for all the girls to go get ready and take their pictures. And we start off with little old Kelly Mack. And she said she's never even heard of the word sexting before. She was calling it sexing.
I know texting, but sexing? What's sexing?
She ends up asking help from Lynette, which Lynette says she's a pro at this. She had her hoe phase, so she's used to taking these pictures, so she's got this down. She helps Kelly Mack. She decides to do a picture of herself topless with a cowboy hat over it. And she, of course, sends her pictures to Darren. And now it's Lynette's turn. Like I said she went through a hoe phase, so she's got this down. She goes right in, she gets hers done, and we all know she sends hers to Anthony. She pretty much is locked in on Anthony. She's not going anywhere else. She doesn't have eyes for anybody else. And then next we have Crystal, and of course she's gonna send hers to Stacy. She does point out that she usually doesn't send things like this to people that she hasn't even had first base with, which kind of makes sense. Like, she just hugged this person for the first time yesterday, and now she's having to send him like sexy pictures.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And I wasn't sure how to take This reaction from Stacy.
Definitely layers of onions being pulled back.
Don't pull it too hard.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then. Okay.
And I don't know if I would want the guy I'm talking to describe me as an onion. I would not want that reaction. But then he ends up sitting down and then just sliding his phone under the pillow. And then he's like, wait, should I be replying to her? Of course you why would you not reply to her? Like, that would be crazy if he just looked at it and then just put his phone down and then didn't even say anything. And she's just sitting there like,
Hello, motherfucker.
and next we have Barbie, and I was for sure that she was going to send her pictures to both Chris and Jacob, but I think with the drama last night, I think she's just over it, so she is deciding on one guy with these pictures. And I want to know what you guys think, who she's going to decide. I personally think that she's going to decide on Chris. Again, with the whole drama last night, I think she's just done with Jacob. But she ends up taking her pictures, and she again tells us that she used to be a stripper, but she also, I guess, took professional photos. She was in calendars and things like that. So the sexy thing isn't just the thing for her, really. She wants to do funny. So she pulls out a banana. Now the time has come to see who got the pictures. And of course, Chris got them, and he is milking it. I kind of feel bad for Jacob. But ultimately, she said she decides to choose Chris because they share the same humor and she just connects with him a little bit more than Jacob. Now we're on to Christina's pictures, and she says she loves fashion, but she decides to take a picture in a jacket. She decides to send her pictures to David and Sam. Sam got his pictures. They were the same exact pictures. Like, she didn't even try to take new ones or fresh ones for him. She sent them to David and it was like, all right, Sam, here you go.
I want to know if that's the same photo.
I actually have a feeling it's the same photo.
Oh, no.
So homie's on same page. He's wearing the trench coat. Yeah.
And now it's time for Kelly to send her pictures, and she decides to send hers to Connor and Joey. Thankfully, she takes different pictures for each one of them. But I felt like her outfit was a little too ridiculous. Like, it looked like she was about to go out to a rave. But Miles is now realizing that maybe he should break out of his shell.
There is a group of beautiful, intelligent women here. I do like Kelly's bold personality, and she goes after what she wants, and I think that's something I can explore later on.
In all honesty, I think it's a little too late to be trying to get to know anybody now.
The lie detector test determined you're telling the truth. The
truth! Because right after all of this, and the sun goes down, the host comes out and lets them all know that whoever got pictures, well, it's pretty clear who likes who. So whoever did not receive pictures, well, it's time for them to go, unfortunately. And they kicked them out right there and then. They weren't playing around. They're like, you gotta go. They did it that same day. Now, I might be heartless about this, but it just made me laugh when Chris was saying bye to his dad. He was like bawling, like his dad was like about to be sent to death or something. I don't know, but he was crying like a little too hard. It was beautiful in a way, because it's like, damn, you definitely have love for your dad and your dad definitely loves you. You guys have a beautiful connection. But it was like, he was crying like, God damn. Now it's time for Miles to say bye to his dad, and I honestly think Miles, even if his dad wasn't here, I don't think he would have really connected with any of these women. Miles seems very timid and shy, even with his dad not being there. But, you know, he did get to make a connection with his dad out of this experience. This may have not been the right place to do it, but at least it was a stepping stone, a pathway for them to actually start making a better connection and work on their relationship. And now Barbie is feeling really bad and very apologetic. I guess she didn't realize that she was gonna end up sending Jacob home without sending him a picture, but she ends up apologizing to Jacob, and she says she feels bad because she sees him and his dad crying, but he lets her know that it's all right and that this whole experience is just a learning lesson from him. Basically, he's just got to go for what and who he wants. So he's just gonna leave the manor with that. So out of the original 18 people, all we have left now is Barbie, Kelly Mac, Crystal, Christina, Lynette, Joey, Anthony, Stacy, Chris, Sam, Darren, and David and Connor. Still a lot of names to remember, a ridiculous amount of names, but thankfully they have shortened it down for us. No more people have to come into this house. We may be at the last episodes at this point. You gotta be kidding me.
Fucked up. You can suck my left nut.
Well, at least thankfully, these two are going to cause a little bit of drama. It looks like a few of the men are starting to drift. I mean, we do have 2 extra men, so this actually may be perfect. Now that I think about it, it's going to be really good. But that was this week's episode. Next week, we're going to get to see 2 new people come and rip this house apart. And the next challenge is handcuffs and watermelon. Thank you guys for coming and watching big ol' me. It's always appreciated. Now, I don't really have anything clever for the like and subscribe thing today, so why don't you just go ahead and hit it and think of something clever yourself. But thank you guys again. You guys have a beautiful day. Bye.